Minister told us that inflation was falling, and his finance minister said that she would avoid deficit spending because that would simply pour gasoline on the inflationary fire. Well, she did pour $60 billion of new inflationary fuel on the fire, and as a result, today we see inflation is rising again, led by higher mortgage payments for the average Canadian. Will the government stop pouring fuel on the fire so that Canadians can afford to pay their bills?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
You know, Mr. Speaker, yet again, despite the best efforts, which actually aren't that good, of the Conservatives to mislead Canadians, the Canadian economy is strong. We have the strongest fiscal position in the G7, and our AAA credit rating was reaffirmed after I tabled the budget. Now, on inflation, I know the party opposite doesn't really know too much about the Bank of Canada, but the Bank of Canada follows CPI trim and CPI median. Those are the core indicators. And CPI median and CPI trim went down between March and April.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Actually, when I said that deficits would cause inflation 2 years ago, that was controversial. Now everyone agrees I was right, including the Governor of the Bank of Canada, who now says inflation is caused by deficits, and the Finance Minister has agreed that I was right when she said that deficits pour fuel on the inflationary fire, and she poured $60 billion of that fuel. That's $4,200 per family. Mr. Speaker, Canadians cannot afford to eat, heat, or house themselves. Will that minister stop pouring the fuel on the fire so that Canadians can, again, pay their bills?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I have another request, and that is, will that ex-minister stop leading Canadians astray and urge them recklessly to invest in crypto? That's an area where we actually really do disagree. Now, I want to talk about the core inflationary measures that the Bank of Canada follows that determine the path of interest rates. One of them is CPI trim. CPI trim peaked at 5.6% in June of last year. It was 4.4% in March and fell to...
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
The Governor of the Bank of Canada said that his measure of inflation is CPI. CPI is up today, even though she said it would be down. It's up, interestingly, after her $60 billion in new spending that she brought in her budget. What's up the most, though, is mortgage payments, and she can tell us why, because she admitted that deficits make inflation worse and force rates higher for longer, end quote. Force rates higher for longer, and that is why Canadians are paying 28% more in mortgage payments. Mr. Speaker, will she get off the backs of Canadian home buyers so that they can put a roof over head?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians know better than to listen to this Leader of the Opposition when it comes to money, because he did, after all, urge them to invest in crypto. And they know better than to rely on this Leader of the Opposition when it comes to the Bank of Canada, because his answer is to fire the independent governor of the Bank of Canada. Now, what the Bank of Canada looks at is CPI trim and median. CPI median peaked at 5.2% in June. It was 4.5% in March and went down to 4.2% in April.